You would be shocked at how much legal work goes into changing a minor's name. A few times a year, I get a call asking me to do a name change for a minor. Seems like a simple enough request, right?
Not so fast!
Parents, did you know that changing your child's last name isn't just about filling out a form? The process is way more complicated than most people realize, and if you don't get it right, you will be denied by the court. And the process is complicated even when being done by agreement of the parents. So let's break down exactly what you need to know. Let me share a story about a parent I worked with recently. Let's call her Tina. Tina used to be married to Mike, and they got divorced when their daughter Haley was just 7 months old. Now Tina got remarried to Mark, and 4 years into the marriage, Tina and Mark were expecting a baby. You following this? So Tina and the baby on the way were going to have the same last name as Mark, and they wanted Haley to have his last name as well. And here's what's amazing. Even Mike, who's Haley's father and Tina's prior husband, was in agreement with this name change to Haley's last name, and he consented to the name change to give Haley Tina's new husband Mark's last name. So they all thought that they'd just fill out some kind of a simple one-page form and bam, Haley now carries Mark's last name, right? Doesn't that seem like that's how it should work? Nope, not in Georgia and probably not in any other state either. The process is complicated, and I'm going to explain it, and I'll explain why it's so complicated. So they ended up hiring my law firm to prepare a petition for minor child's name change, and we filed it just like a regular case. Now, here's the part that gets really crazy. We actually had to publish a notice to the public at large in the local legal newspaper of the county in which we did the name change, and we had to wait 60 days to see if anybody came forward from the public at large with an objection to that name change. So after 60 days had run out, when nobody came forward with any objection to the name change, we still had to request a hearing before a judge and then go to court and explain to the judge why we were doing the name change. And luckily, the judge allowed the name change. What a complicated process to change the name of a 4-year-old little girl. Why is it so darn complicated? Here's your answer. To prevent fraudulent name changes that happen under the wire to defraud creditors. So if someone's trying to change their name for illegal purposes, such as avoiding debts or escaping a criminal history and really assuming a new identity altogether, the public notice can serve as a safeguard by giving others the opportunity to object or raise concerns. This publication of notice is also used as a form of due diligence in the legal process, especially when dealing with minors, to ensure that the change of name is in the best interest of the child and not being done for inappropriate reasons. For example, I have heard stories, and maybe you have too, about unscrupulous parents who run up all kinds of debts in their minor children's names, unbeknownst to the little ones, obviously, and then they skip out on the payments, and then they try and change their kid's name so that the creditors wouldn't be able to find them. Pretty nefarious, ugly stuff. So by having a whole process in place that includes having to explain to the court why the name change is being done, and by making the parties that are doing the name change swear to the truthful, honest intent of the name change, there is some level of accountability and deterrence of fraudulent name changes, which actually protects the public at large. And in the case of 4-year-old Haley, she was protected as well by the process. If her parents had been trying to change her name for a deceitful and nefarious reason, they had probably been caught. You should know that unless both parents are in agreement with the name change of a minor child, it most likely will not happen. Now, in this case, Mike, her father, acted magnanimously by allowing Haley's last name to be changed to match her mother Tina's name and her on-the-way sibling's last name as well. It doesn't always work out that way, but this time it did. Now, I've seen other cases where a parent tries to force a name change against the other parent's wishes, but I've never seen one of those where the court signed off on it. If the other parent is deceased or completely out of the picture with no way of being located, then the publication notice can also serve as a notice of the case to the out-of-the-picture parent, who then has that 60-day period in which they can come forth and object. That is, if they even see the notice in the legal newspaper for the county in which the case is filed. So you now know more than 99.99% of people about how a name change is done and why it is so complicated. If you're considering a name change for yourself or for your children, don't try and do this alone. It is a cumbersome process, which is not all that costly to do with a great family law attorney who can get it done correctly the first time and knows all the steps of this complicated process. It's well worth it to let the expert handle certain things in your life, such as performing your root canal, removing your spleen, and doing your name change.
Thank you very much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to click subscribe, like, follow, and turn on those alerts so that you'll get notified when we post our latest videos. Please share these videos and leave us comments and ask us questions. Also, join our Facebook group at Georgia Divorce and Custody, and I'll see you again on the next video.